Hello everyone! In today's video, we will show you the handmade artwork in our Fancy Dreamland Etsy store and tell you the vivid myths about rabbits in the world. The rabbit has a complex mythology from America to Japan. Many myths make connections between the rabbit, the moon, and the drawn resurrection and immortality. A myth from South Africa tells how the moon sent an insect to Earth with the message, "As I die in dying life, so you shall also die in dying life." The insect was overtaken by a rabbit who asked it what the message was and offered to run faster and deliver it. The rabbit came to the man and said, "The moon says to you, as I die and dying perish, so you shall also die and dying perish." Then rabbit returned to the moon and told her what he had said. The moon was so angry that she struck the rabbit with a piece of wood on the nose, and since that day, the rabbit's nose was split. This is similar to the story told of the chameleon. About the rabbit, we find the origins of the Easter Bunny in the United States. In Europe, especially in Austria, the Czech Republic, and Hungary, colored eggs are placed in hidden nests for children to find on Easter morning. But the rabbit that laid the eggs is honored that afternoon when children must visit their grandmothers or older female relation. Children used to dress in a cape with a head and ears like a rabbit, carrying small water butt filled with dyed eggs. Elsewhere in Europe, there was the custom honoring the goddess Ostara or Istre, whose creature was the rabbit. In Buddhist tradition, Buddha himself was reborn as a rabbit, who instructed his friends how to observe the holy days. In Indian tradition, Vijaya is the ambassador of the rabbit moon god Silamuka. In China, the rabbit lived in the moon, eternally creating the elixir of immortality. He was once a courtier who accompanied his emperor to the spirit of a holy mountain to learn the secrets of immortality. When the emperor had been initiated, the spirit of the mountain begged him to leave the courtier behind. Every day, this man went and gathered flowering plants to feed the mountain spirit. After a while, he ate some and became so spiritualized, he eventually turned into a rabbit. In Japan, the Ainu believed that rabbits came down from heaven as their heir to God's deer. They thought the rabbit was a bearer of the evil eye, and any rabbit tracks in the snow must be scooped out and turned over to avert evil. The story about Buddha and a rabbit is as it follows. Seeing that the moon was ripe for a holy day, the rabbit told his friends monkey, jackal, and otter to obtain food to offer to a beggar and not to eat until they had offered him the food. Each of the animals stole food from the humans, but the Buddha, in the form of a rabbit, decided to offer himself. The king of the gods, Saka, decided to test the rabbit and appeared in the form of a beggar. The rabbit told him to fetch wood, and when the fire was burning, to call him, because he would leap into the fire. The beggar must then eat him. But when the Buddha leapt into the fire, it was cold as snow. He asked the beggar why. Saka had to admit who he really was. In order to celebrate the rabbit's virtue, Saka squeezed the nearby mountain and created an extracted essence, with which he painted the rabbit's image on the moon's disk. This image is what in Europe is called the man in the moon. Among the Algonquin natives of North America, the great rabbit, Manabush, is the great creator and trickster. He was the original hunter whose footsteps measured 8 leagues. He was so big that the Great Lakes bordering Canada and the United States are the beaver dams he made. By watching the spider spin her web to catch flies, he invented the art of netting so that fish could be caught. He bequeathed many signs and charms which were in the hunt. In the autumn, he settled down to his winter hibernation by smoking a great pipe, the smoke of which became the clouds and the mist that filled that season. His brother was the snow, and his house was in the east. It is the reason why the doors in medicine lodges are sited in that direction. In Mayan myth, the rabbit was the inventor of writing. Throughout South and Central America, the rabbit was associated with the moon. Queen Boudica of Icene, who fought against the Romans in the 1st century in Britain, used the rabbit as an instrument of divination, since rabbits like to run in zigzag ways, but not in straight lines. Possible in order to dodge any pursuers, the queen released a rabbit from her robe and observed its running traces. Interestingly, she was able to tell the course of her next battle. She attributed the achievements to the victory goddess Andraste, who gives victory. Rabbits were frequently seen as shapeshifters by witches. In the Isle of Man, Old May Day was the signal for setting the gorse on fire in order to burn out the witches who are hiding in the shape of rabbits. Another familiar method was to shoot at a suspect rabbit with a bullet made from a silver sixpence. If she was a witch, the rabbit would disappear and someone in the village would be found in bed bleeding from a wound by a silver bullet. The lucky rabbit foot amulets were related to the rabbit's ability to bring fertility and wealth, as well to avert harm. Welcome to Fancy Dreamland for your favorite art items. Thank you.